Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Fern Between Us, episode 97. We're getting close to 100. This is A Fern Between Us.
Somebody tell us we don't have to do this anymore. We are two of the four owners of Evoc Winery. I'm Jesse.
I'm Michelle. And we've got Gloria here as the stand-in still. Karen's just not been looking so good. I think she's got long COVID.
She needs more pot or repotted or whatever you say that.
Now that it's legal in New Mexico, Karen needs more pot. I see how it is.
More pot, I think, is the correct term in plant terminology.
Nice.
Houseplants only.
Well, we are going to have a short little episode. We're getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Tomorrow it is spring break, and we have 2 episodes left of the George and Tammy show that we need to get after. So we can't dilly-dally, people.
George Jones, man, how do you
Oh,
know?
Man, I don't know if you guys are watching this show, but it is fantastic. It's really fun. So
It is. It's killer.
so we are last time we were together tasting. It was for the wine club wines, which were Sangiovese and Diavolo. So we tasted the Diavolo, and this time we are tasting the Sangiovese. We always feel like we say all the things about the Sangiovese, so we feel like we talk about it all the time. But
Of course, not everybody's heard everything we've ever said, so
exactly.
you guys might not feel that way.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to start off with is that it did win a silver from the San Francisco International Wine Competition. That's one of those great competitions that really mean a lot when they award your wines. Mm-hmm. And I really love this wine. It is our intro price range, not our intro wine, right? So it really represents what you and Chris do.
Yeah.
Great to get the wine in somebody's hands. They then want to come back and try some of the more expensive wines. Mm-hmm. So what can you tell us about making Sangiovese?
It's easy. This grape just wants to be good wine. I don't know. It's fabulous.
Awesome.
You know, here in New Mexico, it's a little bit lighter bodied, not quite like the super rich, like the Chianti. We have a glass of Chianti here. She's got plans for it, I think. But anyway, it's not super rich like that. It's more, just a slightly lighter, kind of a medium body wine style. And to me, it has tons of complexity. If we don't over oak it, I feel like it just shines and it's amazing. So,
yeah.
And apparently you guys do too, because it's, I think last year it was our biggest seller above Cab.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
Yeah.
And wasn't this the wine that was in the barrel in your room?
Yeah.
The first wine that you made?
Yeah, our very first wine that we made and then destroyed. So it wasn't the first wine we sold, but our first wine that we first made was the Sangiovese.
Right.
And it was a barrel it was our very first French oak barrel. We bought a half ton of grapes. We pressed it, we fermented it, all the stuff, and then we put it in a barrel, and it was like it slept next to me in my room, in the back room at my parents' house. And when it would warm up, it would blow the bung, and so the walls still bear the stains of red wine splatter. I mean, just total amateur young person shenanigans almost. But and it was so good, and we were dreaming of $50 bottle this and that when that wasn't even a thing. And
that's so funny.
and a couple months later tasted it, and it was vinegar. So
Yeah. Take two, right?
It was a little bit sad, but whatever.
I just
we
love
figured
this
it out.
long relationship with this grape. And Jesse and I got married in Italy and had a version of a Sangiovese, a Rosso di Montalcino, that we poured. And it's just, it keeps coming along with us kind of everywhere we go. And so that is why we had a Chianti last night from a store. The Gabbiano, it's d'Oro.
You've seen it on a million shelves.
It's like
standard,
a 15 $15, and it's very quaffable, very easy to drink while you're watching TV.
It's a good little buy. Yeah, but we wanted to taste it side by side. So.
Yeah. So I think that's always a really fun thing when there's a really big, what people really identify as Chianti. Of course, the grape is Sangiovese, the region is Chianti. People are still a little confused and hazy about that, especially because in Italy, there is Sangiovese in a bunch of different wines, and they're all kind of in the same region. So you've got the Brunello, which is the lower level, is the Rosso di Montalcino. And then you've got the Chianti, and then you've got the Chianti Classico, Chianti Classico Riserva. These are all Sangiovese. Yep. And then you've got Super Tuscans, and then you've got, Nobile di Montepulciano.
Which is Sangiovese and like Cab Merlot, some of those. That's a Super Tuscan.
Yeah, blends. But so there's lots of different towns associated with the grape. And I feel like it really does represent itself differently. They are using different clones. And I don't think people are really understanding how important clones are or how combining clones really makes a wine far more complex. This is a conversation that I keep finding myself in at competitions. And it's really very interesting when you start really getting into the fine tuning of the choices that you have to make.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I mean, on something like Sangiovese or Cabernet or Pinot Noir, there are so many different clones out there, and it's really hard to figure out without doing your own research, which is a really like a lifelong endeavor. I don't know how you find out really, So your best bet is to plant several clones and then
play with them,
and then and combine them. It's, that's really all you can do. I mean, you can ferment them separately, but eventually they'll be the same wine because it's from the same vineyard almost always, unless you're big enough that you have like 2-acre blocks, but you've got like 22-acre blocks that you're like playing with. Then maybe you can have different wines here and there, but. Yeah. For somebody small like us, like we can't do that.
But, yeah, absolutely. So, what did you think of the taste comparison?
Body style is almost exactly the same. I thought it was, and lots of the same notes. The Chianti Classico just has a few deeper fruit notes to me.
Yeah, I also picked up a little bit of floral at the top that was surprising. That I don't so much get in yours, but they are so, this is like fine tuning nuances. I feel like we could play a game with people coming over, which I'm sure they would love. It's a test. Welcome to our house.
Which one is not from Chianti?
Yeah, and I think it would be really hard for people to tell the difference.
Yeah, but this is
cool. That's what we want.
Exactly. This isn't a Riserva or Chianti Riserva or anything like that. So once you get into the Riservas and the Montalcino, the Brunello and Rosso Montalcino, then even Rosso I guess is a little more like our style, but the Brunello is for sure way deeper, heavier, richer kind of style, a body kind of wine. Right.
Well, and those Rossos in the United States, it's generally 22 to 27 a bottle.
Yeah.
And, this is interesting because they're almost the same price.
Similar
in
price.
The range.
Yep.
Which is, that under $20. And I think that's a fascinating comparison. So, cheers. That was good. Let's see. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. So, while we didn't get any direct questions for the Fern, I have been getting some personal questions that I thought we'd just go ahead and answer on camera since we're trying to be quick here. And also to say that we are having a St. Patrick's Day celebration.
It's not a party exactly, but it's more like what is it?
Tomorrow at the tasting room, we're going to be open even maybe a little bit later.
If people are hanging out, they'll stay a little bit longer.
Exactly. It's going to determine,
It's going to be kind of cold though, so if it was going to be gorgeous, we'd start hyping and we'd all try to be there and things like that.
But you should come by. We do have some indoor seating still. We have those heaters on the patio, and it's $1 off green beer and green wine. So we also have a special that you can get a refill at half price if you take a picture of yourself in green at our tasting room. So that's kind of a fun new thing. We're trying to get you to post on Facebook. So that's what's up tomorrow. And so people want to know what kind of wines to pair with St. Patrick's Day classics. This is something that I get every single year, actually.
Corned beef and cabbage. Ooh,
yeah,
man.
how do I pair a wine with that? And everybody's like, why would you bother? Just drink beer or whiskey. But, that's a hard switch for those of us that are totally obsessed with wine. And, cabbage is tricky, but it often shows up in Asian dishes. So I think Riesling is a good choice. It's tricky, but I think
this year's Gruner might be pretty good actually too.
Oh yes, with those kind of green notes that it has.
And I would think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but the saltiness of corned beef, which that's the defining flavor.
You want that high acid.
You want something super high in acid. So on our list, it's going to be this year the Gruner or Riesling probably are going to be the two highest.
Yeah, I think those are both great choices.
And I think they should pair it nicely, and they can make them green for you. Green doesn't make it taste better. It actually makes it taste worse, even though it doesn't taste any different.
Yeah, it's a weird
but
thing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why it's fun. It's a novelty. But it is really interesting when you can't see the color of the wine. So there's black glasses that professionals like to sometimes use, and it's kind of a fun party trick. Sometimes you can't even tell the difference if it's white or red, depending on the wine.
Crazy especially to us. Like, we think we can really tell the difference, especially just white and red. Like, we think we can tell the nuances between varieties just by taste and smell. But with a black glass, like, I think your best bet is just to not look at it at all.
100%.
And taste, and you'll be good. But as soon as you see that black glass, it just throws everything off.
And so dyeing a wine green, all of a sudden you're like, I don't even know what this should taste like.
Exactly.
Does it taste green? A lot of people are like, oh, this is a limey wine, because we always do this every year. And then they're like, kind of tastes like lime. It's like, no, it really doesn't.
Right? Actually, if you find yourself down there and you taste weird, get a second taster of that same wine, not dyed, and see what you think.
That is a great idea and a fun side-by-side.
Exactly, and you
can
decide
on a holiday.
Yay! Thanks, guys. I don't know. It's just something interesting, maybe.
Yeah, and red. How would you pair red? I go fruity.
Yeah.
Less tannin, more fruit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do a Beaujolais.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, and we don't make a Beaujolais yet.
This year we're gonna make one. We'll have it maybe for a month or something, or maybe just one party.
It's gonna be
I don't know.
Beaujolais Nouveau style wine, so it's not gonna be the Gamay grape. It's gonna be Pinot Meunier.
Yep.
And it's gonna be the first time we're making Pinot Meunier, and the first time we're doing this kind of Beaujolais Nouveau style. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be fresh and exciting, and it's gonna sell out like that. And you may be asking yourself, why are they doing that this year? Why are we doing that this year, Jesse?
20 years since we opened and sold our first bottle this year, so we're pretty excited. 25 years since we started down this path, so I don't know. We're super excited. This is our 20th anniversary. We're gonna throw a big party this fall. We'll keep telling you about it, but that'll be. But all right, so back to the corned beef and red wine. What on our list then?
Well, the Sangiovese wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah.
Even actually chilled. I think that's a key thing, because it tames the tannins.
Maybe we should have them chill a few bottles for tomorrow.
That's a great idea.
Just in case.
Big brain on Brad.
That won't be part of the green special, because you can't dye red wine green, but
it could be a really nice. Yeah. I'll try to.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's the Sangiovese.
Right.
It's not our highest acid wine, I don't think.
It's not, but
It's
it
yeah.
has some nice acidity, and it has that fruity characteristic.
Do we have a Petit Verdot on the list right this second?
We might, but that's got some dense dark fruit. And I was going more bright red fruit.
And definitely not the Merlot
Well,
or the
what about the
Cab.
Nebbiolo? You could chill the Nebbiolo.
Maybe Nebbiolo.
That could be a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's where we go with it.
that's all we got for
And
you.
if you're just out in the universe, what other wines? Maybe sake, maybe and maybe
yeah, that's
champagne.
interesting because of the high acid. Interesting, the sake because of the cabbage kind of thing with their foods too.
Or potentially like a Chablis.
Oh, maybe.
Or
I really think like an Alsatian Riesling. Where it's got high acid, it's got those green mineral-y kind of notes, where it could carry both of those things.
What is it that, there was a wine that we tasted from the mouth of the Loire. Remember that? As you're like exiting the Loire, it's on the north bank, it's on the right. Super, super, super high acid.
Oh, well, was it a Sancerre?
You're thinking Bordeaux.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to throw me here.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not a super famous one, but people in big cities could probably get it, and that would be amazing 100%. With corned beef. I mean.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm totally lost now. Plus, I was like trying to picture where we had been, and I was like, we haven't been to the Loire.
No, it was part of one of our classes like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
15 years
I know
ago.
what you're talking about, though. Yeah. And it had a salty salinity to it.
It was specifically made to go with salty seafood.
It was on that coast?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't salty itself. It was
I
just
thought it was salty itself. Because that was one of the things that I was like, oh, salty wine. And sometimes I find them again.
Right.
And I'm like...
Like some of the ones from Baja, Mexico or whatever.
Very salty.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have it. We don't know. And so try out some of those suggestions and let us know if they work. And primarily, come by tomorrow and try out our wines with your corned beef and cabbage. Or don't eat corned beef and cabbage?
No, corned beef and cabbage is awesome. At least the once. One day a year. It deserves one day a year at least.
Right?
I used to hate it. Now I love it.
Or what about a Reuben, which is corned beef and cabbage on a sandwich and somehow better?
Is a Reuben that?
Well, right? Like
isn't it roast beef?
Is...
Corned beef is different than roast beef. Reuben is roast beef.
It's not. Isn't it corned beef?
It's roast beef with like juice.
I think you're thinking of a French dip.
Oh shoot, I am a little bit.
Yeah, because you put some very mild cabbage on a Reuben, and I thought that was corned beef.
I don't know. I know the store, our local co-op is preparing corned beef and cabbage. So
that's cool.
As a special, so you can buy that tomorrow down there.
That's awesome.
Then go down the winery.
I love it, and try out a couple of wines. Get a flight.
Oh, there we go.
Try different things with it. That's a great idea. In fact...
And if the wine's not chilled, just sit outside for a second. It will be chilled. Don't worry.
Yeah, it might smell. In fact, I think that might be a project that you might need to look into, Mr. Padberg. All right. Well, anything that we need to alert them that's coming up besides St. Patrick's Day?
I don't think so.
Happy Hour is going to, live music Happy Hour is going to start again very beginning of May this year.
Right. That's
super
still
exciting.
6 weeks away, though.
It is, but like,
but yeah.
Oh, that's something to look forward to while we get our second dose of winter.
And every once in a while, right? Every once in a while during April, if it looks like it's going to be nice and a band approaches. Oh,
yeah. Lexi's going to be coming through.
Sometimes Lily throws somebody on spur of the moment on a Saturday. So if it looks like it's going to be nice, maybe call us or keep an eye on our website or our Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, whatever platform you like. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we got to get after this. George and Tammy are waiting. And so thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, every time you buy a bottle, we plant a tree. And happy St. Paddy's Day.
Cheers.